Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. I knew that women spent more than men, but I had no idea it was this drastic. Now I'm going to give you some numbers, and it's going to destroy a lot of the propaganda that's out there. Just the number alone is going to destroy it. First of all, women have 60% of the wealth. Does that destroy right there for all of you? Men and women, everybody watching this video, does that destroy some talking points that are out there constantly being touted as being true? Women have 60% of the wealth. Here's another stat. Women control 80% of the purchases. In the spending habits of women versus men, women, let's go do with men because men are far more simple. Men purchase for productivity. Men purchase for practicality. Left to their own devices, men will live in a shack with a bathroom and a kitchen area. That's it. Left to their own devices. Now and it has nothing to do with wealth. It has nothing to do with education. I can only assume it just harkens back to men being the hunters and the hunters not needing anything or being as unobtrusive to the environment as possible, sitting inside of a cave or sitting inside of what is it called? A deer thing, where it's just, you're just sitting inside of that little thing and waiting for the deer to come by. I'm as you know, I've never been deer hunting. My uncle took me deep sea fishing once. Whereupon they showed me a puffer fish, and they had caught it, and it was fully blown up with a sticker sticking out, and I started crying. To this day, I have no idea why I started crying. I can remember the entire scenario. I have no idea why I started. I think I started crying because I knew that it was dead, so we had this puffed up fish, and it seemed like maybe the fish was trying to defend itself when there was no defense at that point. He was going to take me deer hunting, but he woke me up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I'll catch you later. I should have gone with him. He passed away a couple of years ago, and he was basically served as my dad after my dad passed away. So, but to my family, he was an in-law. So we don't count in-laws as family in my family. It's a weird thing. Now, women have been so socialized to, you know, the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians? It's not just a title. It is an imperative. Keeping up with the Kardashians. So everything that they do, consumer-wise, they're trying to market to you all the time. Not to you, but to women. They're trying to market, the show's about women. They're trying to market to women constantly every second. If they grab a bottle of water and drink it, they're marketing to you. I even saw Khloe Kardashian go out and buy Oreo cookies. Then she bought jars. Now, she didn't just buy one bag of Oreo cookies. She bought like 20 bags of Oreo cookies. And then for the little video clip, she proceeded then to arrange the cookie one by one in an organized fashion, so it formed little brick-like designs inside of the big, huge jar. And she did that for some other jars. One by one Oreo cookie. Who does that? I mean, well, I'm a man. I don't know what women do, but I take the bag, open it, and there you go. There's my display of cookies. And if I walk around, I say, "You want a cookie?" A person reaches in the bag, and that's the end of the story. That's the end of there is no thought into arranging them one by. Who does that? But in that scenario, she of course is promoting the cookies, she's promoting the jar, and she's promoting. Then you go to her pantry, and then her pantry is all organized. So the whole idea is, look at what I have. This is how you want to be. And what's amazing is I heard a young man, because I'm so old. I heard a young man talking about he had a girlfriend, and invariably the girlfriend treated their relationship as if he was a handbag, as if he was a purse. So she then compared their relationship to relationships that, well, things that she thought were relationships, I guess, that she saw on TV. So that she would say, well, why don't we do that? Why aren't you like that? And then she said, she asked him, this car that you have, he says she had a car versus he had a car. And his car was 15 years older than her car and probably 3 times cheaper than her car. And she said, if you had the money, would you buy a new car? And he told her, no. This is an ex-girlfriend, of course, so you understand. Okay. So, women purchase to keep up. Women are much more manipulated. I'm going to use that word. Manipulated into getting into fashion of the season. So she has to look appropriate to the season. She has to look appropriate to this season's fashion, this quarter's fashion. So she's going to go out and buy stuff constantly. They then took a look at consumer products, perishable or usable products like makeup and soaps and stuff like that. And they found that women's products were far more expensive and you got less of it. So you went through it faster, and so you have to repurchase the products over and over and over in a shorter period of time. They then asked, why are men's products cheaper and you get more of it? And they said men don't stand for that. Men just don't stand for it. Men will not buy if it's expensive. If it's too little, men just won't buy it. Dove had a disastrous campaign, and they tried to get men to purchase Dove products. Dove has been marketing to women forever, right? Even their soap, just their basic soap. They market it to women. Now, you would think that you should say Dove, it's for the whole family, right? But the marketing sticks that it's for women. So that when they started to try to market to men, it was an abysmal failure. They even dropped the price, same thing. And they had the Dove for men, and the for men was in tiny print, so that men simply, and supermarkets or shops reported to them that men simply walked by it, and it didn't even register with them because Dove had marketed to women for decades, and it was an abysmal failure. Now, I talked about this before, and I had men say, well, I buy it. One person does not make a statistic. 50,000 makes a statistic. 1 million makes a statistic. If you're putting out 1 million products for men and only getting a 1% actual purchase of the product, that's not profit. That's not even covering your cost. Only 1% are purchasing it. That is an abysmal failure. 80% of all purchases, I want that to register in your mind, the word all. That means cars, clothes, hygiene products, food, grocery stuff, other items. All purchases, 80%. And if she isn't buying it herself, she's controlling that purchase through her decisions through somebody else. Of course, namely a man, right? 80% of the purchase. Now they looked at kids too, right? And this is why Saturday cartoons have vanished, because kids stopped making decisions. It used to be that what is it? Something like 60% of the morning breakfast purchases were controlled by children, which I think is crazy. I'm not a parent, but I think that's crazy. I would think that the parent should be in control of the diet, first of all. I watched this React channel, the Fine Brothers React, and the one black lady said, I don't allow him to eat those cereals. He does not eat none of that sugar, none of that stuff, none of those sodas, nothing. And I was like, all right, you go, girl. That's how you parent. You actually parent. And of course the kid bought the cereal. The ordeal was they were going to give the kid money and a budget in a store and have the kid buy whatever, and the parent was supposed to guess what the... Now, the kid, when he was doing the purchases, were going through everything that she was talking about. My mother would never let me buy this, but this is this one time, so I'm going to buy it this one time to just to experience it. And so, of course, she's probably upset in terms, but of course she's on camera, so she can't say, I'm gonna, but she said, oh, I see his reasoning. All right, I get it. She said, this one time. She says, but he made good, he took back all the soda, he took back all the candy, and he purchases stuff like game gift cards and stuff like that. So that was good. So obviously that's how you parent. So this whole idea that 60% of the breakfast purchases were made by children is, to me, crazy. That means that you're not a parent. You are in control of what goes into your kids' mouths, not vice versa. If it were up to children, they'd have no teeth and be little Teletubbies running around, you know. So these numbers should destroy all of these talking points about women need this and women, and this is not fair. 60% of the wealth is owned by women. 80% of all purchases are controlled by women. So I looked at Forbes, and Forbes has said, you would be foolish not to cater to women. This purchasing power is $18 trillion a year. $18 trillion a year. Now you know why people are catering to women. Men, I don't have the number for men, but it's not 18 trillion. It's not 18 trillion, and not even close. Now, the person approaching trillionaire is a man. Most of the billionaires are men, but they're not. They buy just as little as poor men do. Men are on a whole different planet as far as consumerism. This is why everything is woman, 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 woman. Because of the purchasing power and the wealth. At the end of the day, the woman is going to try and keep up with the Kardashians. Like the video. Thank you all for watching.